flowers, Erica, my darling. I brought them from the main island just for you because I remember how much you love them. Their sweet smell reminds me of you, my sweet. And there'll be even more sweet things to remember when we are back together again. As sure as I stand here talking to you, it will happen soon.
Jean-Paul.
Dan, are you spying on me again?
No, just observing a man with an obsession that's going to kill him.
Your powers of perception are your weak points, Dan. I'm not going to die. Erica is going to live. You may not have any faith in the future of cryonics. I do.
Someday, perhaps, freezing a body and eventually returning it from the dead may work. But I'm an attorney, not a scientist, so I can't say. And since you're neither, surely you can't predict it.
I can predict that Erica will have every chance that science and money can offer.
I know your great devotion to your wife, but she was equally devoted to you. And the last thing she'd want is for you to drive yourself to death, trying to prolong a life that God has already claimed.
On this island, I am God.
And a fool.
Dan, any husband would be an imperfection of a man if he did not lay his life on the line to save that of the woman he married. Boil it down. If you're right, and I'm not admitting you are, all I'm saying is that I am fighting for the woman that I love. Now, I'd like to continue this dialogue elsewhere, so Erica may remain undisturbed. I love you, my sweet.
Jean-Paul, you always had a great knack for rationalization, but blending fact and fantasy won't work.
Your coffee, monsieur. The breakfast buffet is all set. If I'm no longer needed, may I be excused?
Naturally, Rascal.
And I too, Jean-Paul, there's some papers I must look to.
Look to? Or look for?
And you say I'm building intrigues. See you later.
With friends like Dan Forrest, I hesitate to face the enemy.
You serve very well in that capacity.
Except you are your own worst enemy, which makes you mine. Because you and I are like one.
Oh, no. You are the demon that spreads evil before you.
And aft. Never know who might be sneaking up behind with a doll and pin to curse me. Not now. It was purely an expression. Voodoo got you too. But your optimism about it concerns me. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. I hope.
Look, why don't you leave me alone? Why must you continually harass me? Why must I be harassed by one who doesn't even seem to be there?
You say you're talking only to yourself. Careful. They put people away for things like that.
You're enough to drive any man out of his senses.
Monsieur Desmond?
What is it, Raxel?
To whom were you talking?
See, now she thinks the bats are flapping in your noggin.
Shut up!
Monsieur, all I said was...
I wasn't talking to you, Raxel.
Now you did it.
Not to me?
See? The little man who isn't there is. Hold still. I'll get us out of this.
Perhaps I should call Dr. Carr for something to ease your nerves.
Or perhaps you should call Dr. Carr down to breakfast, Raxel. She must be famished. As I am. Are things set?
But, monsieur, not half an hour ago I told you about the buffet.
Oh, of course, yes. Kippers and porridge and bacon.
Kippers! You haven't touched them in years.
Well, it's about time that I did. Go and fetch them. Fix them up. I'll force them down.
Yes, master.
Well, Dad, are you going to join me in some kippers this morning, or haven't you finished fishing for the day?
Just lowering the line. And I'm afraid you're going to get hooked.
Never. It would be a nasty experience, being hooked.
So is compounding a felony.
Did you break the law, Dan? Or am I on the hot seat?
It's beyond me how you can change like day and night and completely disregard the welfare of others.
Let's keep it to ourselves, shall we?
Dr. Carr asked to be excused. She's busy. But she says your tranquilizers are...
Busy? Doing what?
I don't know, monsieur. But she's in the laboratory, if that will help.
Ah, maybe she's concocting some witch's brew. Perhaps we should look in on her, eh, Dan?
Interrupt Allison in her work and there'll be the devil to pay.
He'll get his due. Either way.
You'll get yours.
Same thing. Well, what did you mean?
Detaining people on this island against their will. The penalty will be the same. But that's not all I want to talk to you about.
There's more. Oh, come, Raxel, the kippers. Sorry, go on.
Your wife has been dead for approximately 10 days now. Who signed the death certificates?
Oh, my dear Dan, here we go again on the merry-go-round. Dr. Mencken did.
You say. But now I'm reaching for the brass ring. It's time for everybody to get off.
The island.
Exactly.
I just can't let them do it. Now, the whole situation was completely explained to me by you and Allison that if word of Erica's death became public knowledge, which as yet it has not, there would undoubtedly be an autopsy. And you know that I can't have that. Because then it would lead to Erica being taken from cryonic suspension. And that would be tantamount to murder. Now that's really compounding a felony.
I can't figure you out, not when you're like this. You make me want to... Most of the time, I can't read you or believe a word you're saying, but it's so frustrating I could actually...
Murder me?
Yes, I do have murder on my mind, but not yours.
Oh. Whose?
Apart from your self-professed love, did you have any other reason for freezing Erica?
How can you dare to imply that of me?
Because most of the time you don't act like a man who has just suffered an agonizing loss.
Not every man should wear his heart on his sleeve. Dan, if the death certificate should have gone astray, couldn't we simply ask Allison to sign another one? She's a doctor.
Monsieur, be careful. The dish is very hot.
Hopefully, so are the kippers. We'll discuss this after breakfast. They smell vile, like all good kippers should.
My poor master.
I can't waste any sympathy on him today.
I'm waiting to be served, Raxel.
I, too, am confused with his changes of mood.
These are good. They're devilishly delicious, Dan. Hooked? Indeed, yes. But who?
You get marks for these, Jean-Paul. They are good.
You know, I haven't tasted anything so enjoyable for ages. But for my taste, things around here should be much, much hotter.